Hi everyone! I really need to come up with a better intro because that's even starting to annoy me, never mind you. But today I've just decided to do a Q&A. The other day I put a link in my Instagram. It was like a link to an anonymous question website so that people could ask me questions, but it would all be anonymous. But yeah, so thank you so much to everyone that asked me questions. And without further ado, I'm just gonna get started. Okay, so this actually isn't one of the questions, but I feel like it's the best way to sort of ease into the video. So obviously my name by my YouTube channel name, whatever. My name is Bria Daly and I am 20 years old and I'm from Northern Ireland. I think that's it, yeah. So okay, so one of the questions is how tall are you? I am 5'4.5". I'm a short ass. So I got this one quite a lot, but what do you study at university? So I'm actually not in university anymore. I left in December time, I think. The end of December, start of January, I left. I was studying psychology at Queen's University in Belfast, and then, as I said in my last video, sort of just took a change of heart. I think I had a quarter life crisis and just decided, nope, this is not for me. I don't want to do this for the rest of my life. And I'm young, so you know what? I am going to get out while I still can. But your girl got an unconditional offer, yeah, for textile art design and fashion, the course that I also mentioned that I had changed to. Fingers crossed I enjoy it. Okay, this one I got. I'm just gonna address this at the start. Are you single? I am, yeah. Okay, moving on. What quote do you live by? This is quite a cliche answer. It's probably not that interesting, but the quote that I would say I live by would be everything happens for a reason. It's definitely very applicable in my life right now because there's so many changes going on and so much has happened in this past year. But no, I'm definitely a big believer in everything happens for a reason and what's meant for you won't pass you. So I'd say, I know it's a bit of a cliche one, but it really rings true, especially in my life right now. So that's what I'm going by. Are you a stay in or a go out type of girl? Do you know what? I'd say a couple of years ago I definitely would have been a more going out type of person. But as I've grew a bit older, I've started to realize that I'm definitely more of a stay in type of gal. In saying that, I absolutely love getting all dressed up and going out and getting, you know, food and drinks and whatever. But I think my favorite part of the night, I have to admit, is getting the food and, you know, your pizza and the garlic mayo dip and going home. Like, that's one of my favorite parts of the night. So I'd say that leaves me at a more of a stay-in type of gal. But as I say, I love like nights out with my friends and good company, and yeah, but I'm not a drinker. I really, to be totally honest, I don't like alcohol, and I'd rather spend my time, I think, going places and, you know, adventure type things as opposed to going out and drinking. That's what I prefer. Most embarrassing thing that's ever happened. I have a lot of embarrassing shit that's happened in my life. I am one of those people that is just, I'm constantly surprising myself at my sheer stupidity. I just do some really embarrassing shit. I'm really clumsy and I can be a bit of a bimbo at times, I'm not gonna lie. The one that comes into my mind, even though it's not that recent, it's still like hands down one of the most embarrassing things that's ever happened. I used to work in a restaurant when I was 15. I was serving a table one night and it was two men and a woman. I take it that the woman was these two boys' mother. And she had an English accent. Now, I am the worst at detecting an accent. Like, I do not know. Sometimes, like, I don't know what it is, but sometimes it takes me a couple of seconds to like sort of pick up that the person has an accent. I'd asked, you know, can I get you any drinks, blah, blah, blah. And looked at this lady and she, oh fuck, I'm actually, she was like, do you have any lager? And I was like, what? And I couldn't hear, and do you know what, it was such a busy atmosphere in the restaurant, so there was so much going on in the background, I genuinely couldn't really hear. And I was like, what, sorry? And she was like, lager. And I was like, sorry, I can't make out what you're saying, what is it you're asking? And she was like, and she get really annoyed, so she was like, lager. And the thing I probably shouldn't have done is you don't repeat it when you don't know what they said, but I was like, sorry, what's lager? And oh my gosh, the whole table just erupted and they all burst out laughing, and I just stood there and I was like, like my eyelids and everything were sweating. I was like, did I just say that? Like, because I instantly realized as soon as I said it out loud, I was like, oh my god, I know what she means. I know what she means, and I just said it. I just mocked this lady's accent. I'm gonna get in so much trouble. Honestly, I quit shortly after that. Not because of that incident, but let's just say I didn't have the case anyway. So that's one of the most embarrassing things that I can remember. But there's a lot of them. There's probably gonna be some that come into my mind later on in this video. So if there is, I'll mention them. Hi there. Okay, so I'm just editing this video, and I told you I would remember an embarrassing memory. I told you I was a gal. I was a gal with a lot of embarrassing memories. One just came to my mind and I thought I would mention it. I'm gonna keep this really brief. So anyway, I was at a birthday party and it was like coming to the end of the night and I had just snuck off because I wanted some food, because you know it's my favourite part of the night. So that was fine, and this like guy had like offered to come with me for the walk, and I was like, oh, that's fine, whatever, because he was like really hot, and I thought, okay. We went for a little walk, and upon our journey, I don't know, he seen something and he was trying to describe to me. He was like, oh, like, come and see this, but there was a fence, and I was obviously like, I'm 5'4", so I couldn't see over the fence. So he was like, oh, jump on my back and I'll show you. So like I was like, okay. So I did. I jumped on his back, and ladies and gentlemen, he fucking dropped me. He dropped me. I fell off his back. And just for reference, I was wearing a dress. I was wearing a mini dress. I was wearing a mini dress and no shorts, no nothing underneath. Just my underwear. Yeah. And it wasn't even like, I'll try and describe it, because it wasn't even like one of those little falls. It wasn't like a little like a dainty like whoops, oh, like it was a proper like it was a literal man spread of a fall. And I mean, this guy was so hot. I was like, did that just fucking happen? I don't think he remembers it, and I really hope to God he doesn't. I think he was pretty drunk, but I mean that was not good for my self-esteem, because I was questioning, was I too heavy or what the actual fuck? But in fairness, we were both heavily intoxicated, so I'm gonna put that down to the reason. I really hope he doesn't remember that, but yeah, that was embarrassing. One thing you couldn't live without, I'm not gonna be really shallow and say my phone or anything like that. The one thing I know I definitely could not live without would be my family. Like 1,000,000%, I could not live without my family, so that's that. Okay, this next one, worst and best date you've ever been on. I want to start this off by saying that I've been really fortunate to go on some lovely dates with some lovely people, so I'm not in any way, shape or form insulting anyone if you watch this and you're like, you're talking about me. But I do remember being on a date once. How do I keep this really, really discreet so that the person that I'm talking about doesn't know that I'm talking about them? Because I really don't want to offend anyone. Let's just say we went for a little coffee together, and that was fine and it was going swell. But this person could not stop talking about themselves. I finally seen an opportunity for, you know, a bit of a shared experience. I was gonna say, you know, oh, that's quite similar to me, blah blah blah. I just began talking and they interrupted me to I'm gonna keep this really discreet because this person's instantly gonna know what I'm talking about, but let's just say talk about themselves. And I was like, oh, okay. They had just interrupted my story completely and told me, oh sure, come on, I'll take you home now, it's fine. And I was like, oh, wasn't in the middle of a story there, but it's fine, okay. So we were on our way home, and just before they had left me home, they were like, oh, you just talk too much. And I was like, you what? It's funny looking back now, and it's not even that big a deal, but it's probably one of the worst ones I've been on. I'm really sorry if you know what I'm talking about. The best date that I've ever been on, most of my dates I've been on have been with like people I've been in relationships with, so it's never really been a case of like first date kind of things. So I don't know, the best date I've ever been on, probably going to a place in Derry, and it was called Brunswick. If you've never been, you should definitely go because it's amazing and I love it. It's just basically like an arcade bowling alley with a restaurant and a cinema, and there's just the whole works in it, so it was really fun. So yeah, probably that. Another one, I got skincare routines. I actually am surprised I even got asked this because I'm not joking. I don't do anything to my skin. Like, I do not use anything. In fact, I use Sorel, I think is what it's called, but it's literally like some cheap skincare, or no, skin cleanser from Tesco, so it's literally like £13 or something, I don't know. I'm not really an avid skincare user. Like, I don't really use anything on my skin. I just use warm water and face cloth. That's my skin tip. I think I've said this in a previous video, but I did read a Cosmopolitan article once that said Kim Kardashian said that the best thing for your skin was warm water and a face cloth, and yeah, that's what I live by. What's your thoughts on cosmetic surgery? Cosmetic surgery has never ever been a problem to me because I have had my lips done twice, and I'm not gonna lie with that. So I don't know, to me it's sort of like, if you know the options there, if there's something that you really do not like about yourself, or there's something that makes you extremely insecure, and like there's a procedure out there for that and you can financially afford it, I don't think that it's detrimental if you do get something done. I just don't really think it's that big a deal. But I don't think society should make anyone feel like they need to go out and get their nose done, jaw filler, cheek filler, eye lifts, lip filler. Like, I don't really feel like you need a whole slap of stuff done because everybody's beautiful the way they are. But I absolutely do think that, I mean, if you have one wee thing that there's maybe something that makes you a bit insecure, and as I say, if there's a procedure out there for it, like, who fucking cares? It's your body, you do what you want. Like, as long as you're not going overboard and like taking away from who you are and totally changing yourself, I don't think it hurts, like, put it that way. If it's only a bit of filler here and there, like, it's not the big a deal. So my style icon is probably Hailey Bieber, because of the fact that she's my celebrity crush, so I just love everything she does. and in turn I just love her fashion. But I have a few style icons. Molly McFarlane's definitely up there with one of my favourite. Molly May as well, but they're very different. Molly McFarlane, I suppose, is more eccentric and colourful, whereas Molly May is more like minimalistic and neutrals, but they're both amazing to me. I also love Amy Hallamond, I think her name is. She is just so bold and out there, and I just love some of the things she wears. Maybe not necessarily something I'd rock about in, but I think that I just think she's class. Olivia Grace Herring I love as well. I think her style of like really edgy, kind of like charity shop, thrift shop kind of style, I just love that. Maya Regan is another one. I absolutely love her style. If I could pull off the things she could wear, I think honestly she could literally wear a bin bag and she would look absolutely incredible. So I think those gals are up there with my style icons. Ever had a one night stand? Ever had a one night stand? Oh my gosh. No, I have never had a one night stand. I don't think there's anything wrong with it at all. I just personally have not. Would you rather get back with an ex or give up social media for an entire year? No, I'd rather get back with an ex. I just love social media. I think it's the best thing ever. And I mean, if it meant, like, I don't know. No, I would rather get back with an ex, put it that way. What's the worst thing you've ever done on someone? Well, I try not to do something bad things on anyone, because no one deserves to be treated poorly, but I know that there's a few things looking back that I'm like, oh gosh, I wish I didn't do that. And like things that I regret and think now, like if I had the chance to amend that, I would have. The one that comes to mind again instantly, people watching this are going to know exactly who the fuck I'm on about, but I once went to a formal with a boy and did not tell him that I was actually meeting someone else. So I went to this formal and perhaps led this boy on a little bit to think that we were more than we were, when in reality I was progressing on with someone else. I think that's something something very unfair that I've done on someone. So if you're watching this and you know who I'm talking about, really sorry, and like I do regret that a lot. Have you ever made the first move? No, I've never made the first move, but did you start YouTube for money? No, definitely not. I started YouTube because, to be quite honest, I was always so jealous of people that made YouTube, and it made me want to do it even more, because I was like, it seems so fun. I'm constantly talking to myself if I'm not talking to a camera, so I may as well. And the one thing probably holding me back was confidence. I just felt like, do you know what, like who's gonna want to watch me, who's gonna, you know, want to keep up with my life? That's the wrong mentality. Someone out there, you know, might like you, and at the end of the day, it's not about that. Like, I enjoy doing it and it makes me happy to post, and I love editing and I love recording and I just love social media. What's the worst thing someone has ever said about you? I don't know, there's a couple that come to my mind. Like whenever I was in school, I think I've had a wee bit more said about me. I think the worst thing I've ever had said about me wasn't attractive without makeup, and then I was a total catfish. So like basically everything revolved around my looks. Like I think that's probably the worst thing I've ever had said about me. Probably like offensive comments, like older boys and stuff would have made when I was in school, but like now it doesn't even bother me. I couldn't give a shit if anyone thinks that, because it's true. I don't put on makeup to look the exact same, so I'm glad that I look different. Okay, so thank you. That's a compliment. I'm taking that as a compliment. Biggest red flag. Ooh, this is advice for any of you girls out there. If you pick this up, run. If he aspires to be Jordan Belfort, or if his favourite movie is The Wolf of Wall Street, run. Have you ever got in trouble with the police? I'd say people don't know this, but yeah, I'm gonna keep this quite concise. I have in fact been stopped by the police. No, actually the car wasn't moving, so this doesn't even qualify as being stopped by the police. The police actually just pulled up beside my car. Myself and an ex were in the car, and I had a bottle of wine and a glass of wine, like a half drunk bottle of wine, and a full glass of wine in my the wee coaster part of your car in the middle. There was also a pocket knife in my car. I do not know why, do not ask. And there was a tag still on his jacket. So it looked like we were absolute criminals. My keys were in the ignition and everything. It looked like I was drink driving. It was just like the worst situation ever. Like it was everything that could have looked wrong. The police must have just been doing their search. And I don't know, obviously it looked like antisocial behaviour was going on, because we were in a car at night, and it probably, you know, probably looked wrong. I had the gumption though to pull out my keys. Thank God I did, because the policeman did admit to me that if I had my keys in the ignition, if the car was on, I would have lost my license there and then. So thank fuck I didn't. My dad also does not know about this, I'm so sorry, but yeah. So I ripped the keys out of the ignition, threw them over to him. Policeman came over anyway, knocked the window and asked us to step out of the vehicle. It looked so bad, seeing the wine there. He had a bottle of beer, and I was just sitting like, oh my god, this is the worst thing ever. I'm gonna lose the license, I'm gonna get done for drink driving, even though I genuinely have not moved this car. It was the worst situation ever. So yeah, that's my that's my experience of getting in trouble with the police. Technically that's not really getting in trouble with the police, I suppose, because we didn't really do anything wrong, but it could have been worse because it looked quite bad. Best advice for a bad day. Honestly, my advice for a bad day is be kind to yourself and allow yourself to express any emotion that you're feeling at that time. Don't be ashamed to cry. Definitely sometimes getting a good cry out of you is what you need. I wish I could cry because I don't know, I have the heart of stone. I honestly don't know why, but I can't cry. I think I cry maybe once every like 6 or 7 months, and I don't know why. But yeah, sometimes that helps, getting emotion out. Things that help me, especially when I'm having like a really crappy day and I feel like nothing's going my way, I express a lot of gratitude. I do that every day anyway, but I know that this definitely helps because it helps me take a step back, and instead of looking at the things that I don't have or the things that are going wrong in my life, I can be grateful for the things that I do have and the things that are going very well in my life. And I know that definitely helps me. It's easier to look at the glass half full than half empty. I know it makes me feel a lot better, expressing a lot of gratitude and being thankful for everything in my life, because I always think to myself that, you know, there's people worse off, you know, that sort of way. And definitely talk to people, like don't keep it in. That's one thing I know my friends definitely know about me, is that I am a fucking yap. Like anytime that I am having a rough day, I go straight to the priv. Like I tell everyone, I make it known, like, because support is what you need and support is what brings you out of it. Well, what I find anyway, when I talk to my friends, that I instantly feel better. Even if you just go for a drive with your friends, talk to your family maybe, I don't know, keep yourself in good company and cut out all the negativity in your life. Believe me, like life is hard enough and life will throw you many a curveball. So if there's anything in your control that you can do to eliminate that, do so. Is marriage and kids something you'd want in your future? Definitely. Oh gosh, yeah, like definitely. But as of right now, fuck no. Like I have no interest in getting married, no interest in having children. I don't have an interest in having children anyway until like I'm way into my 30s. Like I'm sorry, children are not my ideal life. I know that's a sin, because at the end of the day, children are a blessing, and I'm very, very aware of that. And I do want a big family at some stage in my life, but not in my 20s, not in my 20s, hon. Absolutely fucking not. I'm sorry, I could not think of anything worse right now. I know that's so bad of me to say that, but it's just, personally, no, it's not for me. What age did you lose your, you know? I think I was quite young, but to be quite honest, like I was in a relationship, wasn't just with anyone, I suppose. So I was 16, which, yeah, it might be young. I don't know if I consider that young or not. No, it is, to be fair, it is, but it's the legal age, so you know what, don't come at me. Okay, so this one I've actually got, I think I got this twice, but it's basically what are your biggest X, or like name 5 X. So I'm gonna name 5 X. I'm gonna try to anyway. Number 1 would be dirty hands or dirty fingernails. I'm sorry. No, please stay away from me. Like if you have dirty fingernails, do not come near me, thank you very much. The same goes for dirty hands. Like wash your fucking hands. Like it's not hard. Keep wipes in your car, like bottle of hand sanitizer, just please. There's boys that I know for a fact that enjoy having dirty hands, and I'm sorry, how do you eat your dinner? Like how do you actually eat your dinner with hands like that? It's just fucking wrong. It's so disgusting to stop. Another one's being rude to hospitality staff. I fucking hate that. Manners are easily carried, so please remember that. Another one is being arrogant, and I mean like I'm not just arrogant, over the top, like uncalled for arrogant. Like humble yourself, hun. There's no need for you to be as arrogant as you are. Thank you very much. Nobody is better than anyone in this world. Please don't forget that. Don't get me wrong, I love confidence to the point where it's properly known as cockiness. Like confidence is like the #1 thing that I'm like, oh, see if someone's in, like if they're at 6 out of 10 but they're confident about it, yeah, you are my type. As long as you're confident, like I don't know what it is about confidence, but it's so attractive to me. But don't get it twisted, because arrogance is very, very, very similar sometimes in their mindset to confidence. Please stay humble, thank you very much. Another one, a boy who doesn't drive. I'm sorry. Like I love equality and I'm very much for equal relationships, very, very much so. Plus I love driving, so I don't mind that, but it's nice to get like, it's nice to get picked up and get like looked after that way, you know what I mean? Even if you know what, you got your license, you haven't got a car, that's absolutely fine, but just get your license. You just need to get your license. My final ick is bad breath. I'm sorry, brush your teeth or eat a chewing gum. It's not that fucking hard. I think we're gonna leave it there though, because I think I've answered enough. I don't want to bore you guys. I'm gonna keep this relatively short and sweet, but as I said, thank you so much for all of my questions, and yeah, thank you very much for watching, and I hope you all have a wonderful Sunday. Bye!